fair that Eric has had to pay child support and had his driver's license suspended for a child that's not his.
Make DNA testing mandatory at birth. The following case is absolutely insane and has to deal with the removing of paternity from a man who was told when this child was born that he was the father, but the child's mother lied. He didn't know that she was cheating on him, so he signed the birth certificate, and of course she went and got child support. He paid for 2 years, and then he later finds out that he's not the father due to a DNA test. And because he's not the father, he stops payment. But for some reason, he still has been required to pay. And mind you, in the years past that, he's gotten his license suspended, his warrants out for his arrest. So guys, you already know what time it is. It is time to get active. We must go over cases like this because it continues to improve the injustices within the family court system. Without further ado,
Emily Bartson versus Eric Willerick. Jason Lee is the interested third party.
This matter is before the court for revocation of paternity action.
Originally, when I got pregnant, it was the date the doctor told me was the date that Eric and I were together. After Colton was born, we did a DNA test, and it was discovered that Eric and Colton do not share DNA. And I had only been with one other person that could have been the possibility, and that's Jason. So after Eric and I did the DNA test, Jason finally got a hold of me in January of this year. And I went and met with him and asked him to do a DNA test in my car. He did it. It came back as 99.9998 as Jason's. I've talked with Jason, tried to get him to build a relationship with Colton, and he has not done that. The test that Jason and I did was not a legal test, but the test that Eric and I did was legal.
Okay. Why was there, I see that Colton is age 4, is that correct?
Just turned 5.
Why did you delay so long?
When Eric and I did the DNA test, it was in 2020 or 2021. And I had sent the court papers, but I'd never heard anything back. And I mistakenly kind of assumed that everything was being taken care of. And then when I looked again, I realized it was not. And I don't think it's fair that Eric has had to pay child support and had his driver's license suspended and for a child that's not his.
oh, now you don't think it's fair, ma'am. While you were the one that put him in the system, when you knew that you had laid down with multiple men unprotected within a short time period, you were so quick to assign fatherhood and to trick him while also not following up on a DNA test for 4 years while this man is being hassled by the law. I don't think that it's fair that you are not jailed for paternity fraud. Notice how in cases like this, the burden of responsibility is placed on the man while removing all accountability from the woman. The judge won't say that, but I absolutely will. Absolutely disgusting and diabolical work, ma'am.
There was in this matter, you're aware that there was a support order in place.
Yes.
Okay. And I think under the petition, you state that there was an order in place and respondent, Mr. Willrich, failed to comply with the support order. Is that correct?
He did comply until we had the DNA test.
Which the DNA was back in 2021. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe that's correct.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to tell me, ma'am?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
So now we're going to hear from the man who she lied to. His name is Eric, but we don't actually see him here.
And sir, you heard the testimony of Ms. Bartson. Is that an accurate rendition of the facts as you know them?
Yes, it is.
And in this matter, you have not had, is it fair to say you've not had a relationship with Colton following his birth? Is that correct?
Yes.
And as well, there was a support order in place, and it required you to pay child support, but you haven't paid, as she stated, since the test back in 2021. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
And in this matter, there was the test taken, a DNA test with Laboratory Corporation of America. It's under date of, well, I'll take the date that they did the notary. It's under date of June 21, 2021. And you submitted to that DNA test, is that correct?
Yes.
Do you have any opposition to the court accepting and admitting this DNA test report signed by Eric M. O'Neill, PhD, into evidence?
Yes.
I asked if you had any opposition, so,
Oh, no, no.
okay, you don't. Court will admit the DNA test report dated June 21, 2021 in this matter. Anything else that you would like to say, sir, or want me to know?
No, she pretty much told you everything.
Okay. Mr. Lee, in this matter, you've not been joined at this point.
Well,
He was joined as a defendant?
Yes, there was a hearing some
Oh,
weeks.
DNA test report with you is not obviously proper to admit, so I won't do that. And you can testify in this case if you'd like, but I would probably, if you're disputing custody, then I'd probably caution you not to testify.
I'm not going to testify at all today, sir.
So you don't want to testify, correct?
No, sir.
Anything else further that you have, Ms. Bartson?
Not at this time.
Mr. Willerich?
No.
Thank you. In this matter, the court has heard the brief testimony in this case that, again, when the plaintiff was pregnant, there was a possibility that the defendant may have been the father. And after the child was born back in, the child's 5 now, so he'd have been born before that. After that, sometime in 2021, the parties had a DNA test report, which has been admitted as Exhibit 1 in this matter. That report that I've identified previously, signed by Eric M. O'Neill, PhD, shows a probability of paternity of 0%. The court will note that, again, this is a delayed motion in this particular matter. Typically, you have to file these within 3 years of the child's birth or you're barred.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, that the plaintiff has stated that she turned in the papers to the court. And as a result, having turned those papers in, she said she was waiting for a hearing. She didn't get anything. And as a result, then she finally filed something again. I don't know what happened in this case. But the fact is, the court will find that, again, there was a proper cause, a reasonable cause for the delay in this matter, not attributable to the parties, and therefore the court will proceed on the petition filed by the plaintiff in this particular matter.
This is a key decision by the judge here because he doesn't need to honor this petition of revocation because it's outside of the 3-year statute. But he makes the decision, and a good decision, to overcome this protocol because of the story that she gave.
The court will determine based upon the testimony and the evidence submitted in this matter, and further based upon the fact that the respondent defendant has not paid support pursuant to the support order entered in this matter previously. And he has testified as well that he's had no relationship with the minor child in this matter, that in fact the court will determine that he is in fact not the biological father of this particular child, Colton Roger Bartson, that in fact the child is a child born out of wedlock in this particular case, and the court will have to determine paternity later in this matter, as I'm not able to as a result of these proceedings.
At this point, the alleged father, Eric, I would suggest to him that he needs to lawyer up to sue for all of the child support that was given to this woman. You won't have to pay me my money, ma'am. You're going to have to come up off of all of that and suspend her license or threaten her with jail if she misses a payment.
Ms. Bartson, if you would you give me what's the date of birth so that I can put that in my order?
5/18/19.
Okay, thank you. Unless there's anything else, the court will end this proceeding. I will do the order that was submitted, and you're free to go and have a good afternoon.
Your Honor, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
How does Eric go about getting his license back and getting the warrant taken care of for the past due child support?
Well, once this order gets entered, which will be entered today, I don't know if the clerk's office will be able to have it docketed today or not. That's up to them, but it'll be entered today. He can, based upon that, contact his front of the court enforcement officer, inform them of what's happened, and then they in turn can proceed with getting and vacating, reinstating his license, as well as eliminating this court obligation.
Very well. Thank you.
You know what would solve all of this? Mandatory DNA test at birth. And I could scream this from the mountaintops. I could do as many videos as I want, but you know why it won't change? When you can't make sense of something, all you got to do is follow the money. My argument is that being proactive, such as taking a DNA test, would cause the state to lose money on the back of Title 4D. So of course the state wouldn't want to approve a change like this. Sort of how hospitals focus on fixing issues as opposed to giving you the information to lead a healthy lifestyle proactively to never have the issue to begin with. Well, if they're more proactive, they're going to lose out on all of the money of being reactive to an illness or situation. But above all, it is absolutely sickening to me, and it should sicken each and every one of you that is watching this, male or female, that a man has to go through so much of this ish after paternity fraud is committed in order to clear his name from a DNA test that he proved 3 years ago that he wasn't the father. And it's sad because the person that suffers the most in all of this is the child. The child didn't ask for any of this, didn't ask to be raised in a situation where even his biological father doesn't want to have a relationship with him. And truth be told, that's a component of the reason, in my opinion, that this woman chose Eric to be the father, because she knew that Jason, let me bring him up down here. There he is down there. Is more than likely going to be a deadbeat. But then brings up the question of you being so careless with your womb. Why are you engaging in intercourse with men who you do not want to father children with? When you have access to 30 plus forms of birth control, and then you also have access to self-delete afterwards in some states nowadays, I begin to lose sympathy for you, because at the end of the day, women control sex, access to their bodies where life can be created. And if you're careless with your body, then situations like this can be your future. Questions, comments, concerns. Y'all already know what to do. Me, go to Turtles and Review.